Yo, what's up guys, Greg2G here, and today's video is gonna get really nerdy, all kinds of maths and stuff, so I hope you can keep up. If not, leave comments and ask any questions you have. But yeah, just so you're warned, it's gonna get pretty nerdy in here. So what we're gonna do is talk about mostly the Soul Dancer. I mean, this stuff might apply to other classes as well, but we're mostly gonna talk about the Soul Dancer, the healing, how magic attack affects healing, like stats priorities, all that good stuff. So yeah, sit tight and let's get going here, huh? But also, even if you're not a Soul Dancer, you can probably benefit from this as well. I'm sure you probably know a Soul Dancer. You can tell them to go watch this video if they have any questions about what the heck is they should be doing, like prioritizing for stats and all that good stuff. I totally failed that little mini game while I'm talking, but did not expect that to pop up. But yeah, let's get started. As I'm speaking, you'll be noticing the picture above changing with before and after. Just pay attention to that if you want to see like what the stats were before and after and all that stuff. Otherwise, it's actually, we'll explain everything at the end. But yeah, just to let you know what's going on in the video part of this section while I'm talking right now. So basically, I took all my stats, my general stats, advanced stats, base stats, all the stats, and I looked at them with a before and after. And that is, the before is like normal with all my gear on, and then I removed one fire gem, and then I looked at my stats afterwards. So, fire gem gives me intelligence, which raises magic attack and some other stuff, but magic attack is the main thing we're going to be looking at and seeing how magic attack affects our healing. So yeah, keep in mind that there are going to be other stats that change other than magic attack and all that other stuff, but we're just focusing on these specific stats: magic attack, water attack, and cooldown ratio, or cooldown reduction rather, because these are the ones that are supposed to have an effect on healing, and these are the ones that I get the most questions about as far as do they affect healing and how much, if so, how much, and what do they do, etc, etc. So first of all, in this clip coming up, we're going to test for water attack. We had to do this in a live battle setting because when you add some water attack to your stats, it did have no visible effect on the skills itself, like magic attack does. So as you see here, I use my EX heal. I'm healing for 16,479 per tick. And then mid-battle here, I'm going to go ahead and swap a water attack stat to my weapon. And then we'll go ahead and use our EX heal again and see how much we heal for, and just see if that actually does have any sort of effect. So EX heals out. We're healing for 16,000. It's hard to see here, but 16,471. So actually our healing went down with the water attack because I replaced a dex stat, and I forgot that dex actually does raise my magical attack a little bit. So that little bit of loss of magical attack actually reduced our healing. Water attack has no effect on healing. So for this next clip, we're going to be testing cooldown reduction. So right now I'm going to use my EX heal, which is healing us for 16,449 per tick. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and open up my inventory and add a big fat cooldown reduction to one of my pieces of gear, my pants here, which should have a pretty big effect. So the cooldown reduction does sound like it should directly affect our healing. It says decreases cooldowns, period. CDR increases Soul Dancer healing effects. So let's go ahead and use our next EX heal and see, 16,449. Huh. Yeah, so I guess cooldown reduction doesn't directly affect our healing effects like it sounds like it should, but I mean, you could say it does still affect healing effects because of course it does reduce the cooldowns on our heals. So I mean, yeah, you could say that, yeah, but it is a bit of a confusing wording there. So as you can see here, cooldown reduction does not have a direct effect on heals, but obviously it will reduce your cooldowns, so yes and no. Alright, anyway, moving on. Alright, so this is where we started running into problems, and this is why this video has taken so long, because, well, the method I used was kind of flawed at first. So originally we removed a level 7 level 9 fire gem, which removes 70 intelligence base, but it also removes the buff that you get from having all your slots full with like level 7 gems. So I lost not only the 70 intelligence plus a 36 intelligence, 36 dex, 36 con, 36 insight, and 36 strength. So that's where everything got thrown off, because I was only calculating the, at first I was only calculating the 70 intelligence, and it just, the math wasn't working out. So I was like, okay, I need to like find some sort of pattern here. So then I removed a second level 9 fire gem, which is 70 intelligence, and then that started adding up. So I removed the second level 9 gem, and my magic attack went from 14,341 to 13,992, which is a difference of 349, which doesn't exactly add up, but it's close anyway. So, like every point of intelligence is supposed to be 5 magic attack, so it should be 350 magic attack for 70 intelligence. So I guess there's like a slight miscalculation in the game, but it's close. It's close enough at least. So then then I was like, okay, yeah, that's closer to what we're looking for. So then I removed a third fire gem, and then we went from 13,992 to 13,642, which is also consistent. That's actually 350 magic attack. So yeah, then we can go ahead and look at our healing examples. So from the first one, when we have 2 fire gems removed, then we went from 8,220 healing to 8,186, which is a difference of 34. And then when we removed the third fire gem, we went from 8,186 healing to 8,151, which is a difference of 35. So now we have a pattern. 34, 35, close enough, right? So from that we can decide that every 10 points of magic attack equals 1 healing. So we have 350 magic attack, that equals 34 or 35-ish. We'll say maybe it's 34.5. It's probably like 34.5. So every 10 points of magic attack equals 34.5 healing. So yeah, it took me a while to get around all this, but yeah, that seems pretty consistent. Every time I remove a level 9 fire gem, that gives 70 intelligence, which equals to 349 or 350 magic attack. I drop by 34 or 35 healing. Okay, so now we get into the comparisons, and for the comparison we're going to use the ability Recall Light, because our EX heal light beacon actually is not affected by cooldown reduction. So I guess in that case, for EX heals or any EX abilities, fire is going to win every time, because yeah, cooldown reduction just doesn't affect them. So for that case, yeah, fire wins. All right, for Recall Light though, this is our like 40-second base cooldown heal. Depending on your cooldown reduction, I have it at like 33 seconds now. But we can go ahead and make a comparison here. And I'm going to throw up a picture of my math real quick, just in case any of you nerds out there want to check my math. I'm getting to be, I'm a boomer. I'm going to just go ahead and say I'm a boomer, so my math skills may have slipped over the years. But anyway, so we have this chart, and there's you saw all the maths and stuff, so you can figure out how the chart works from there. So what we did is compared like the total amount of healing over time. As you can see, starting out under 3 minutes is the 9 fire and 5 water, or yeah, 9 fire and 5 water setup is better. You do get a slightly better amount of healing under 3 minutes for fights under 3 minutes. But once you go over 3 minutes, then cooldown reduction starts kicking in real hard, and you start seeing a lot more benefits from having that cooldown reduction. So any fight over 5 minutes, which is basically all the PvP fights, all the PvP fights are usually about 10 minutes or so. So over 10 minutes, it starts to take off. And keep in mind, this is from like my character's like level 68, 69-ish. And I think as we level up more and more, I think cooldown reduction is just going to keep getting stronger and stronger. And yeah, this is just for one ability. Like we're just comparing healing right now. And I think the benefit of cooldown reduction is huge, especially for not just the healing, but for like Witch's Kiss, which is the sheep ability, and your time bubble and everything. Basically, all your damage spells, all that stuff benefits from cooldown reduction as well. And I would say that cooldown reduction will just continue to get more and more powerful as we level up. But for you fire users out there, I guess for PvE content, most fights in PvE don't last that long, so maybe fire is better for PvE and water is better for PvP. That's just my my 2 cents, but yeah, you can go ahead and look at the math right here and just see how that works out just for based on healing alone. So if you want to be an MVP healer in a PvP match, you definitely want to go for the 9 water and 5 fire setup. Okay, so based on all of this information, we can decide what stats we want to look for on our gear for a support-focused Soul Dancer. So as you've probably noticed, healing does not get crit. You don't get heal crits in this game, so any crit stats are pretty much useless for a support-focused Soul Dancer. Of course, you might want to have a little crit to do a little bit more damage here and there, but yeah, for our healing, it does absolutely nothing, so I usually don't take any crit. But most important stats, I would say, for healing, obviously, is Magic Attack. Magic Attack gives us healing. Water Attack, as we saw, does not give us healing, but you can still use that if you want to boost up your damage a little bit. Cooldown Reduction is king, I would say. I would say Cooldown Reduction and Magic Attack are our top 2 stats you want to have. Try to get on every piece of gear you can. And then Intelligence. And I would say, more than crit, you might want to have Multi-Strike. From what I've noticed, and I haven't done any testing on this so far, but from what I've noticed, I think Multi-Strike does a lot more damage than crits. So I would, if I was a more damage-focused Soul Dancer, I would be going for mostly Multi-Strike, and as you can see, I do have a few Multi-Strike stats on a few of my gear pieces. And of course, you want to have defense and crit resist and HP, some more defensive stats when you can get those. But yeah, like I said, Magic Attack, Insight, of course, which is also cooldown reduction and Magic Attack. Magic Attack, Int, Insight, and cooldown reduction are the 4 that we're looking for mostly. Oh yeah, okay, that was a lot of work, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I could have put out like 5 other different guide videos in the time it took me to put together this video, but this will, I think, be overall just way more helpful in general. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. It's probably something I did look over, even though it took me like hours and hours and hours. I don't even want to think about how many hours I put in this video at this point. But yeah, let me know if I missed something. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, leave some comments. And of course, as always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. GG's.